Right. Hello YouTube. In this video, we will be taking a close look at the 4.0 map and its new exploration mechanisms. For those who aren't up to date with the main quest, don't worry cause we do get a skip story option. To do that, we just go to Vera or Domain 9, then press escape, head over to Terminal, then Story. Now there should be a go button right beside Gestus Network, and if you click on that, it will bring you to the new area. Once we are there, we will get this terminal device, which will help us in exploring the new map. Oxandro called it Nintendo Switch, and I started doing the same because it honestly looks like one. To bind the hotkey to your Switch, we go over to Settings, Keys, scroll down until you find Hacker Terminal. There's also an icon up here if you want to manually open the thing. After opening your Switch, use these buttons on the lower right corner to open the application library. There's a lot of interactable buttons here, so you might get overwhelmed at first just like I did, but don't worry, we'll go over those one by one. Under Terminal Apps, we have Link Communication, where you can receive and send messages from NPCs. Next, we have Nexus Ops that give some pointers about the world exploration. We'll get into more of that later. Skyride Express that shows details about floating minibus, which is what's mostly used for transportation in the new area. Then we have Echo to play a background music while we explore. After that, we have Dataset. In this tab, we have this collection progress of various data chips, and for each milestone we reach, we get various rewards. Now if we head over to Mementos, there will be 3 more tabs, each with different rewards as we rack up prestige points. Most of this can be get from exploration. Lastly, there's custom kits, where we can customize our Nintendo Switch. There's actually 2 more under Dataset and Custom Kits, which is the Repair and Orbital Eye. But these 2 can only be unlocked once you've upgraded your terminal up to a certain point. In order to upgrade your terminal, go to any of these phone booths or just transmit to the one and only transmit point in the city. Then, look for this machine. It's called Terminal Management Switchboard. Yeah, that's such a mouthful. And it has 3 tabs, which are the Persona, System, and Permissions. Under Persona is where we load our identity in this simulated world. You can either choose District 4 Researcher or Secretary Assistant depending on what a particular quest requires you to use. After picking a persona, exit the switchboard and a warping effect will occur to indicate that you've loaded a different personal data. Next, we head over to Systems tab. This is what I was talking about when I mentioned upgrading your terminal earlier. There are 11 levels in total, and what we need to upgrade is this item called Data Source. Upgrading the system will allow you to unlock certain perks like increased capacity limit for data source, the repair and orbital eye function, and most importantly is the loadout slots for your permissions. If you head over to the Permissions tab, you will see these different loadouts on the side, the current limit at the bottom. Choose what permissions to use and equip them to help you with exploration or give overworld buffs. You need to remember this very well because some of the permissions are key factors for exploration. You can get system permissions from gold or type 3 airdrops. This right here is an interactive map for the 4.0 area. and I'll just drop the link down on video description for you guys. Alright, let's go back to the most important resource or item for the map exploration. We have this blue orb called Data Source, which is basically the same thing as the Domain 9 Field Energy. Thankfully, they did tone it down and lessen the amount because you can only find the floating ones around main roads. Once you've unlocked the Orbital Eye, you will be able to differentiate them when you open the map, since their icons should be small white circles. But in my case, since I haven't unlocked it yet, as you can see, no icons are appearing on the map. Other ways to collect data source is from daily bounties, 4.0 password chests, which we have different types of keys to open, airdrops, which are basically supply chests but they're floating, Decipher Extend Decryption, and for some reason skipping stones on the shore also gives you data source. Moving on to exploration mechanisms, at number 1 we got signal towers, where we capture the correct frequency twice. In order to do this, first we adjust the green dial by rotating it either clockwise or counterclockwise until the number on the left turns green and this dot on the middle starts flashing green. Once you've got the correct frequency, it will automatically lock in, then you'll have to do the exact same thing to capture the second frequency. Successfully booting up the signal tower will not only unlock portions of the map, but also allow you to do exploration mechanisms because some applications can only be used when there's a signal on the terminal. There's also a chance that the tower may malfunction, requiring you to activate it again. Although there should be a permission called real-time maintenance that you can equip to prevent this from happening. Next, let's talk about mode of transportation. Since there will be no transmit points on the map, what we're going to use is the Skyride Express. Simply head over to the nearest station and call for a taxi to head over to another station. Then, we have airdrop type 1 and 3, which you can open by simply interacting with it. As for airdrop type 2, the purple ones, you have to find the controller nearby to do a standard decryption. If you have the airdrop controller permission, you can equip it to help you find the airdrop controller. There are 4 types of decryption when it comes to exploration mechanisms. We have normal activation, standard decryption, forced decryption, and efficient decryption. These are different options having different methods to clear a particular device. Now, let's go have a look at each and every one of these options. This particular one is called link assembly, and what it requires is for you to touch these floating cubes. Next is time returner, which asks you to put certain items to their previous places. Then we have battle projector, which is nice and simple. You just have to fight some mobs. After that, there's trace detection where we search for traces of a robot that's moving underground. Once you find it, either tap it with a normal hit or launch an AoE attack. And last on the list is power maintenance. For this one, we reconnect the colored cables to their corresponding unit. Those are the normal methods in clearing these devices. However, if you remember, we also have standard, forced, and efficient decryption. Choosing the standard decryption will bring us to this tab where we will have to upload a required sequence given by the machine. You can also get some extra data sources in here by aiming for an extended decryption. Do take note that using the standard decryption method will consume 25% of your terminal battery regardless of you succeeding or failing to solve the puzzle. In order to bypass that, simply press the leave button if you feel like you're going to fail, because having to go back to base and recharge your terminal often is such a tedious task. If you're having this trouble, then I suggest you equip the terminal management extension permission so that you'll be able to access your switchboard through these machines scattered all throughout the city. Needless to say, you can also use it to recharge your terminal's battery. Moving on to the third method, which is forced decryption. In order to do this, we need an item called stabilizer. This is something that we can buy from a merchant located over here. The currency used for trading is Dandelion Badge, which we can gather from dandelions, of course. Aside from the stabilizer, other stuff that's for sale is Gold Nucleus, some CDs to play on your Echo, and this Dandelion mount. Once you use a forced decryption, you hit the thing with the required element to crack the system. Fourth and last on the list of methods is not something I would really recommend, but it's an option, so let's go ahead and try it. Choosing efficient decryption will automatically clear the puzzle for you, but it's going to cost you some data sources. New currency Norn, which we can get from exploration. We use it to buy and exchange datasets and other stuff in the Gestus network. Equipping extractor decryption permission will allow you to use this machine in order to exchange 1000 data source for 100 Norn. Entrance to the location of the new boss. Last and not least, you get a wanted icon when you attack enemies inside the city.